Can you come introduce yourself with me?
My name's Ellie. Her name's Jillian.
Who am I?
My mom. We're gonna do her makeup. She's gonna answer y'all some questions. That's like 100,000.
Not quite that many. How many kids do I have? I have 2 kids. I have a boy and a girl. How old are they right now is question number 2. Ellie is 5 and Finn is 11 months old. Are they planned or unplanned? The answer is unplanned. But we loved them. We wanted kids, we just weren't trying. How old were you when you got pregnant with all of your kids? With Ellie, I was 24, and with Finn, I was 29. Have you ever struggled with infertility? No, we did not. Tell us where and how you found out you were pregnant with each of your kids. Well, with Ellie, I found out in my bathroom whenever I took a test and sat on the floor and laughed and cried and waited for Patrick to come home, and then he didn't believe me. And then with Finn, I had a good inkling whenever I was on a Ferris wheel one day in Houston, and something just didn't feel right, so I felt like I was probably pregnant. And then I took a test and I was right.
What do I do with this?
You put it on with a brush. What was your husband or partner's reaction? With Ellie, Patrick did not believe me and drove me to the pharmacy because he said that I must have bought a cheap test. And so we had to buy an expensive one because that makes a difference. And then with Finn, Patrick had been telling me for about a week and a half that I was pregnant, and I didn't believe him until the Ferris wheel. What were your first thoughts and feelings at upcoming motherhood? Okay, my first thoughts for both pregnancies were, oh my god, 9 months is a really super long time. I didn't want to wait that long. It seemed like a ridiculous time to wait. How did you tell your family and what were their reactions? With Ellie, we drove about 30-40 minutes to go tell my parents, and we tried to tell Patrick's parents in person. We tried to bring him to get ice cream or something, but his mom was not feeling well, so we did not get to do that. Excuse me. So we did not get to do that. And with Finn, we told everybody over FaceTime. It was just easier that way. What was the weirdest craving you've ever had? I didn't have cravings, I had aversions. Where with Ellie, I had an aversion to anything that had any kind of meat in it. I became a vegan for a few months. And with Finn, I had an aversion to any and every vegetable. Salads made me want to vomit, and I was even allergic to my vitamin, my prenatal vitamin. So I think I just had a surplus of vitamins, and I think it was just making me sick. Problem is that I can't throw up. I'm not, like, unless I have food poisoning, I cannot throw up. It's the worst. So being nauseated 24 hours a day for 3 months without being able to vomit and get some kind of relief was really annoying. Have an easy or hard pregnancy? Oh, I skipped a question. Did you have an easy or hard pregnancy, and why? With Ellie, the pregnancy was easy until it got hard. The first few months was really easy. Well, that was supposed to go on first. This is foundation. So, just smear it on there, girl. Put it in your hand, rub it in like lotion. For Ellie was easy until it got hard because at 6 months pregnant, I fell out of bed and I hurt my back really bad. And so after that, that became a very difficult pregnancy, whereas Finn was very difficult until it became easy, because the first few months, the nausea and trying to figure out that I was allergic to my vitamin, which I was supposed to be taking every day, and that was just making me lay in bed sometimes and just want to not get out. His was really hard until it got easy, so they were both completely different. Part about being pregnant with Ellie, the hardest part about being pregnant was whenever I hurt my back. I was in bed for probably the last 2 months of my pregnancy and had to be weighted on hand and foot, and while that sounds really good now that I am a mom, trying to get ready to have a baby and being in bed that long was not fun. And being weighted on hand and foot just makes you feel useless and leads to depression. With Finn, the hardest thing about being pregnant was the nausea again.
What's this?
That's just more powder. Take any maternity or belly pictures? I took one in Las Vegas for Ellie, and I took one, apparently there's one of me whenever I was pregnant with Finn, but I don't remember taking it. Did you do a nursery? What was the theme? We don't do themes in this house. I think they're cute, I think they're fun, but it's too much money to drop at one time, so we don't do that. What we do is we pick out colors and then we go from there. So for, like right now, if you've ever seen, very cute, if you've ever seen Finn's room in a vlog that we've done, you'll notice there's not much in his room, and that's because we don't do themes like that. We just pick colors. Like right now his colors are navy blue, orange, and green, and then we'll grow from there. So as he grows, his room will become full of things that he loves. And Ellie's room is full of things that she loves, and her colors are pink, purple, and blue. So we just grow with our rooms. We don't believe in, that's a pencil for my eye. Let's see, how did you come up with your children's name? Okay, with Ellie, her name is Rachel Elizabeth. She's named after her godmother, Rachel. But Elizabeth came because in high school I thought that I was reincarnated from Queen Elizabeth, because when we were learning about her, I just felt really connected, and so that's always been a special name to me. I don't think that anymore. I mean, not really. With Finn's name is actually Griffin Kyle. Before I got pregnant, Patrick's grandfather, Kyle, died, and so we named him in honor of Papa, which is French for grandfather, which was Papa Kyle. Patrick was watching wrestling one day, the documentary on wrestling, and they were talking about Finn Balor. I really like the name Finn, but I don't like just the name Finn. Like, Ellie had to be something else. We couldn't just call her Ellie. It had to be a more adult sounding name. So I didn't want Finn Kyle because that doesn't sound very adult to me. So we looked at Finley, and I didn't want to name him Finnegan or Phineas, so we decided to go with Griffin. What was the best part about being pregnant? Honestly, I loved being pregnant. I love it. I still love it. I would love to be a surrogate one day because I love being pregnant. Did you have a baby shower? With Ellie, I had a baby shower. My Aunt Bobby threw me one at her house, and it was lovely. I was in a terrible mood, and I felt really fat, but I loved it. It was wonderful. With Finn, I didn't have one. Do you ever feel prepared or ready to have a baby? I would say that the answer is no. Any funny pregnancy stories? I'll have to come back to that one. I don't remember. I don't know. What kind of birth did you have? With both of my kids, I had a vaginal birth, and both of them went incredibly smoothly, where I only labored for about 4 hours and pushing took less than 10 minutes. I mean, it was nothing. Where were you when you went into labor? Both of my kids were scheduled vaginal deliveries. We had Ellie a week early because I was swelling really bad. I didn't have any complications. It was just I was swelling, and my doctor was going out of town, and so to get ahead of everything in case there would be any problems, have to schedule to schedule an induction. With Finn, we scheduled the induction around people's schedules, trying to make sure everybody could be in town and stuff like that. I went into labor, I was at the hospital both times. Do you have any pain relief during your labor? Yes, I did. With Ellie, I was gonna push it and try to wait it out and see if I could do the pain and stuff, and honestly, I think that I could have. I really think that I could have. The problem is that I had too many people in my room, so whenever the pain started, I was breathing through it and trying to stay calm, and I was doing okay, but then if I opened my eyes, I saw each and every one of my people looking at me like this. And so I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And then with Finn, I love the epidural so much, I figured why not? How long were you in labor? 4 hours, both of them. Did your husband or partner handle the delivery room? Patrick did great. He always is great with everything. He's just the best. Besides your husband or partner, was anyone else with you? No, because we both agreed that the first probably hour would be spent with just us as a new family, ready to bond, skin to skin contact, attempting to breastfeed, all that stuff. And I didn't want a lot of people in the room. So the rule was that no one was allowed back until we said so. And so that it really worked well for us, and I actually encourage everybody to do that. Were there any complications during labor or your C-section? With Ellie, I had no complications at all. I needed an episiotomy, but that's pretty normal. With Finn, my epidural was too strong, and so I couldn't feel my legs at all. And I kept looking, and I could see them, but I couldn't feel them, and there was nothing there. And so it wasn't scary, it was just really weird. So you describe seeing your baby for the first time in 3 words. Let's see, beautiful, chubby,
Silly.
I didn't know you yet, so I didn't know if you were silly. Baby stats. He was born April 26, 2011 at 1:41 p.m. and you weighed 8 pounds and 3 ounces and you were
42.
I think 19 inches long. I'll have to look it up. Finn was born sometime after 4 and weighed 8 pounds 6 ounces and was, I think, 20 inches long.
Some people
On
might say
October
I have a
1st,
mustache.
2015. That's okay. People can say I have a mustache because I'm a mammal and I don't care. How long were you in the hospital? With Ellie, I was in the hospital for 4 days because I was bleeding. So they kept me in the hospital to monitor me and give me some medication. With Finn, I was out in 2 days. He was very easy. Did anyone visit you in the hospital? The answer is everybody. Everybody who is part of my family and who I consider to be close was there, and that was very nice. The first day home with Ellie, the first day home was super easy. The first night home was very difficult because I didn't realize that I wasn't producing any breast milk. So she wasn't eating, and so I didn't realize that she wasn't eating. And
your eyes look pretty.
thanks. I didn't realize that she wasn't, or actually Patrick, because I was sleeping, but we didn't realize that she hadn't eaten, and that's why she was crying so much. With Finn, the first day home and the first night home, super easy. He's a very easy kid. What was recovery like for you? Recovery, oh man. So recovery for me was very easy. I don't remember having any kind of complications or anything like that. Did you ever experience postpartum depression? Tell your story. That is actually connected to the next question, so I'm going to tell you the next question too. Did you ever breastfeed, or did you breastfeed or bottle feed your baby? Your choice. Okay, I tried to breastfeed Ellie, and that's why she wasn't eating that night, but because they gave me the medication at the hospital to stop the bleeding, it also stopped my breast milk, and I didn't realize that, and that's why we didn't know that she was eating. So for the next few weeks we were supplementing formula, and then she just went straight to formula because any consultations with the lactation consultant proved the same thing, that she wasn't eating, so, and I had no breast milk, and that led me to feel like a failure. And because I felt like a failure, I developed postpartum depression, and so it took a long time for me to get out of that. With Finn, I didn't want to risk having postpartum depression again, so I started on Wellbutrin before he was actually born, and I attempted to breastfeed a little bit, but I didn't want to force myself to do it whenever I was so scared of it, because I knew that I was at a risk for developing postpartum depression again, and I didn't want to do that to my kids and my husband. So both of my kids are bottle fed, he is. What advice would you give a new mom for dealing with recovery after birth? I mean, the obvious thing is to sleep when they sleep. That's the very, that's recovery 101 after you have a baby, is sleep when they sleep. That's what everybody says. Right before I had Finn, I was reading an article, and it said that the one thing that she did was she forced herself to shower every day after she had her baby, and so I did that with Finn, because with Ellie, I probably went like a week without showering just because I was so enamored with everything going on and sleeping as much as I could and trying to figure out why she wasn't crying and trying to figure out why my breast never got engorged and all kinds of stuff. So, but she forced herself to take a shower, and that was a really good idea. And it made me feel really good. So that's my next thing, is sleep when they sleep and force yourself to take a shower. At least one every day. Don't get so close to my eyes. Okay. What's the one baby item you can't live without? With Ellie, it was probably a handmade quilt. That little blanket that I knew was made with love and was special was a safe place for me to put her on the floor, where I felt like I didn't feel like I was abandoning her on the floor. I felt like I was giving her a chance to be herself in a designated place where it was okay for me to put her down. And with Finn, now that he's older, it's his playpen. It's really big for a playpen, but with his eczema, we're able to put down a nice clean sheet. So with him, it's a place of solace for him too. So I guess those are my two things. Did the number of kids you want change after having your first? How many do you want now, or are you done? Okay, the number of kids that I wanted before I had kids was like 1 million.
7.
It was like a million. I never wanted to stop having kids. I wanted to have as many kids as I possibly could. So now that I'm married and we've looked at it more logistically and financially and from a more responsible adult way of looking at it, we're probably done. What's the most rewarding part about being a mom? Watching your kids learn. That's the coolest. Whenever they pick up a new skill, or whenever, like Ellie right now is learning how to read, and every day whenever she comes home and she reads things to me from her pages, and oh, that's the best. Do you think your kids look more like you or dad? Bonus points for pictures. Okay, both of my kids look like my husband. Most people think they look like my husband, but they honestly just look like each other. So, do you miss anything about your life from before kids? No. Well, I mean, the obvious stuff like being able to just drop everything and go somewhere, but to me that's not worth it to me. Let's play pretend. The house is clean, the kids are asleep. It's hilarious. The house is clean, the kids are asleep for the night, and you have 1 hour to yourself. What do? I play Fallout. That's what I would do. Without a doubt, I would play Fallout. Tell a funny guess what my kid did story. I'm sure there are some. I don't really remember them, so it kind of sucks. I'll have to ask. What is the thing you never had that you want for your kids? Personally, my mom worked a lot, and so I had to live with my grandparents, with my aunts and uncle, and I spent a lot of time away from her. At some point she lived in different states than I did, all because she was working, and I understand that. I don't want that for my kids. I want to be there whenever they feel like they need me. I can't do that and talk at the same time. Better? Okay. I want to be able to be there for them for everything, and I want to be the most important confidant that they have, and I want there to always be that open door, and I don't want to be too far away that they can't come to me. So I love you, Mom, and I understand, but that's not what I want for my kids. What do you struggle with most about motherhood? That is easy for me because I've actually talked about this a lot. I struggle with the guilt a lot of motherhood. I feel like I'm not a good mom. I feel like I'm not a good enough mom. I feel like I'm not spending enough time with them. I feel like I'm not doing enough around the house. I'm not keeping a clean enough house. I feel like just everything, it always piles up, and it never feels like I'm doing enough. A lot of that has to do with my depression, so it depends on how I'm doing whenever I'm going through those hills and valleys and all that stuff. But I try not to let it affect their life. I don't hide it because I don't want them to feel like it's taboo to talk about mom's feelings, like, oh, don't talk about mom's feelings, she's gonna get upset, or don't talk about mom's feelings, we're gonna make her cry. So I don't want to do that. I want it to be a normal thing that's dealt with in front of them, and that I want them to know that it's okay to feel these feelings, and it's okay to feel sad sometimes, because everybody feels sad sometimes. You just have to deal with it and keep moving. That's what I want to teach them. What is the worst children's TV show? There's two answers to that. There is Caillou, because he's whiny. The other answer is SpongeBob, because it's rude. How has motherhood changed you as a person? I feel like my empathy level for parents has gone up. However, almost lost all patience for any kid that's not mine. If I don't love your kid, which there are some that I love that aren't mine, and that's fine, but I've pretty much lost patience for every other child. If you're not mine or my people's kids, sorry, I probably don't like them. Biggest pet peeve about being a parent boils down to the different ideas that people have about what's right and what's wrong. That's what it all boils down to. It all boils down to what they treat their kids about what's right and wrong, what they feel themselves is what's right and wrong, and who's allowed to pass each other in the car line. That is another big problem that I have as a parent. I get really mad about car line. What's the biggest worry about your kid's future? I don't know.
They'll never grow up.
No, that's not it. I'm worried that you're gonna grow up too fast. My main worry for him right now is that his eczema, he won't grow out of his eczema, but I'm pretty sure he will, and I'm hopeful that he will, so I don't even really want to talk about that. So we won't. If you never had kids, where do you think you'd be right now? That's a hard question.
Here.
Probably here. I would still be married to Patrick, so I would be very happy and probably traveling more than we do now. How would you describe your parenting style? My parenting style is very old school. I don't think that we fit into a parenting style box, and I don't think that any parent who's a good parent fits into a parenting style box, because your kids are always evolving and their needs are always evolving and their disciplinary needs are always evolving. I think you need to trust your instincts. So I am an instinctual, old school, free range parent. So this video has been really fun and kind of enlightening, and I'm kind of upset that I don't actually know all the answers to these questions, but whatever, because I'm a mom and here I am in my oversized sweatshirt, and I don't want yoga pants because it's too hot for that, but oversized sweatshirt, headband, messy bun, just let my daughter do my makeup because I'm a mom. If you like me now because you just dove into my soul, if you like me now, go check out the rest of our vlogs and see how we actually do parent. There's even some instances where we correct our kids on camera. Oh my god, it's crazy, right? So go check out our vlog. Make sure you hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It was really long and good job hanging in there. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.